Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be looking at the Disney parks versus the Disney cruise. So let's get into it. First up, I just sort of want to say that I am a big fan of both the Disney parks and the Disney Cruise Line. I've been to the Disney parks a lot more than I have done the Disney Cruise Line, but with me going on a Disney cruise later this year, I thought I would look at the pros and cons of both the Disney parks and the Disney Cruise Line to help you make a choice if you are planning to do either. So first up, let's have a think about attractions. It is one of the main selling points for the Disney parks. There is a lot of attractions, there's a lot of variety throughout the parks, both in Paris and in Disney World and California. No matter where you are going in the world to a Disney park, there is always going to be a fantastic selection of attractions. Whereas on a Disney cruise, you are going to be stuck with what you are going to have on board. Majority of the time, this is going to be a couple of water slides and one big main attraction water slide. On the Disney Magic, it was a drop floor slide, which was absolutely loads of fun. I absolutely loved it. The Disney Dream I'm looking forward to. I think it's called the Aqueduct and it's a tube ride. So again, that goes around the outside of the ship and it looks fantastic. So in terms of attractions, yes, you get a lot more at a Disney park than you would on board the Disney ships because of the amount of space. Next up, let's talk entertainment. What do you see in the Disney parks? You have a large amount of variety depending on which parks you go to. Depends on what you're going to see. So for example, Animal Kingdom has Lion King and Finding Nemo. Magic Kingdom, you have got, let's say, PhilharMagic. You've got the stage shows. In Epcot, you've got lots of different types of shows going on. Biggest one at the moment is probably the Encanto show. And at Hollywood Studios, you've got the Citizens of the Streets. I'm not too sure if they've come back. I remember enjoying them before COVID. And you've also got like the Indian Stunt Show, the Frozen Show, and you've got like the Dance Junior Party. Whereas on board, again, got what you get given. You have got a stage show in the evenings as part of your dining rotation. So there's 2 performances on a stage show. You've got also music performances in the evenings, quizzes throughout the day. You've got animation classes, which is also available in Animal Kingdom. So there is a lot of different varieties. There is the big screen funnel vision, which will show a movie, and you've also got an inboard cinema. So in terms of entertainment, both have got their large amounts. You've got cinemas, you've got stage shows throughout the parks as well as on board. Characters does vary again depending on which cruise you're on, depends on when you're travelling, depends on what you are going to see. So for example, depending on the parks, you might see different characters in the different lands. Is the same as what you would see on board. So formal night, if you have a formal night on your cruise, the characters are going to be dressed up in a much more elegant costume in comparison to their normal get-up. You're probably also going to see, so for example, I've seen on the Alaskan cruise, they have a very different items of clothing, and you've also got Halloween cruises, you've got Christmas cruises, where they have those seasonal costumes. So depending on when you go, depends on what you see with the characters. Again, this is the same in the parks where you will see characters in their different outfits. When I went on board the Disney Magic, we did have a Marvel day where the Marvel characters were out and about and you saw quite a lot of them and there was quite a lot of interaction. And again, I can't be one to completely talk about the experience on board a Disney cruise line because I have only been known of the restricted sailings. So, and it was a very short one at that. If you have seen it on the previous channel, go back and watch the videos and you can have a look for yourself. I'm hoping to see a lot more characters on this upcoming sailing, and it's one that I think you do get quite a bit of time. We got quite a few photos with the characters when we were there before, so it is a really enjoyable time. You got characters around the ship in different locations, so it's always worth exploring. Entertainment we've done, attractions we've done, so let's move on to dining and food. One of the biggest selling points of the Disney Cruise Line is that your food and drinks are included, non-alcoholic drinks and the non-adult dining. So you're throughout the day sort of quick service, counter service restaurants, and you've also got your sit-down meals in the evening as part of your Disney your dining rotation. They are just there's a good variety. Looking at the reviews, chicken tenders on board a Disney Cruise Line is like nothing else out there. So there's that goes for it. In the Disney parks, especially in Disney World, there is a large amount of restaurants. I've gone into it on this channel before, so if you've watched all the videos, you fully know the variety of different restaurants you have. Again, on board the Disney Cruise Line, you're going to rotate between 3 different restaurants, 3 different themings. You've also got the quick service and you've got the buffet choices as well. But you don't have that worry of having to pay for them. You've got your drinks throughout the day paid for as well. So it is something where it's a lack of a worry about it. Whereas in the parks, unless you've got Disney Dining Plan, you will have to pay for it. Even with the Disney Dining Plan, if you're wanting a soft drink, if you're wanting any refreshment, unless you're going for a water, you are going to have to pay for that drink. So there is an element of dining and the relaxation and drinking and the eating that sells the Disney Cruise Line. Speaking of relaxing, in the parks, you can tailor a holiday to be relaxing if that is what you are choosing to do. Unfortunately, being from the UK and going pretty much every 5 to 10 years, it's not something that we get to do. We've been a few times, last time in 2018, time before that was 2013, so it has been 5-6 years since we've been to a Disney World. Disneyland Paris is definitely, now we've been a couple of times, is we can sort of take that laid back approach and sort of do the things that we want to do, sit and just sort of relax. I think that if it's new to you, you probably would find that it's not a relaxing holiday. It is a rushing round, trying to see as much as possible, because it is sort of like that once in a decade, once in a lifetime type of holiday. But it is also, once you've been a few times, once you've seen what you want and you've sort of got an idea of what you want to visit, what you want to see, what you want to experience, then you can sort of take a more relaxed approach. On board the Disney Cruise Line, it is very much all about the luxury side of it. It is all about the relaxing. I made the mistake of trying to fit everything in on the Disney Cruise Line, and it's not going to happen. They put on so many different activities, so much stuff happening, so that everyone is entertained and there isn't really a dull moment. So I sort of have learnt from that I'm not going to be able to do everything, and it is going to be one of those, right, okay, relax, choose what we want to do and take it as our time. Especially with the cruise that we're doing, it is definitely something that I'm thinking more along the lines of it is going to be a lot more chilled out, it's going to be a lot more relaxed holiday. Hopefully it's going to not be a boring one, because I'm going to bring you guys along on the channel, so hopefully the vlog will be entertaining. But it's definitely something that I plan to do, where it's going to be maybe spend a couple of hours by the pool, or maybe go and watch the stage show, or just go and listen to some music being performed in one of the bars or entertainment areas. I think I'm going to take this as an approach of take my time, relax and enjoy it. Obviously I want to meet characters, I want to have photos, I want to enjoy the cinema, I want to enjoy the stage shows. But I think in between all of that, I think I'm going to just have a relaxed approach. If I was to visit Disney World now, I do have attractions that I do want to see and want to ride. I do want shows that I want to go to. I do have restaurants I want to go to. So I feel like if I was to go to Disney World at this precise moment in time, I probably wouldn't have that same attitude going into it. I would have my to-do list and my tick list and things that I want to do, and I do feel sometimes that once I'm in the parks, I do rush and try and get to something, especially if I see a low wait time for like Big Thunder Mountain or one of those attractions that I really love. I would rush across the park, whereas with the cruise line, it's going to be taking my time. Another selling point of Disney Cruise Line is the locations it stops at. With Disney World, you are in Disney World. When you are in Paris, Disneyland Paris, you are in Disneyland Paris. You're free to explore. You can go elsewhere. They're not chaining you in. They're not locking you up. But you sort of want to stay in that Disney bubble. With the Disney Cruise Line, and especially again with the cruise line we've booked this year, you're stopping at different locations. It's one of those things where you have the Disney magic and the Disney bubble, but you are getting to explore other parts of the world. It's why I was looking at a Norwegian cruise. It was why I was looking at a European cruise, to see different areas of the world that I haven't really got a chance to see in a long time. And it's why we've gone for the transatlantic one. We're going to go to Spain, Portugal, islands in the middle Atlantic, and Bahamas. And it's sort of one of those opportunities that we thought we've got to take advantage of this. So one of the big selling points I think that the parks cannot offer you is a experience of traveling around the world. You don't get to do it as part of the parks unless you pay for that massive big worldwide tour, which is like so expensive, and you're going around on the plane and you're visiting all the parks. Unless you're going to do that, traveling as part of going on your Disney holiday isn't really something that is included. If you're going to Disney World, you're probably going to go down to Universal. You might go other parts of Florida, Clearwater, and other areas in Florida. Whereas with the cruise line, you're stopping in another country, you're stopping in other locations, and encouraged to go on tours, and it's part of the Disney package that they are selling to you. So I feel like that is definitely something that outweighs the parks in comparison to the cruise line. So you're going to explore the world. I think the approach just generally costs. We're able to do this cruise for slightly cheaper than what we probably would be paying as part of a Disney World holiday. We paid just under $5,000. Last time I went in 2018, if I was to work it out, it would be £5,000, around that, for both me and my partner, me and Vicky. And so it's slightly cheaper. And again, you can shop around, you can edit things, you can stay off-site, you can stay on-site, you can book when there's deals on, so like the dining plan at the moment in the UK. And you can choose a short stay on board the cruise and visit only 1 or 2 nights. Again, it's up to you what you sort of want to do. And I think you can edit your cruise line to be more budget friendly than I feel like a Disney holiday does, especially to Disney World. I think Disneyland Paris, from my point of view, is around the same sort of cost, depending on what you're planning on doing, depending on where you're planning on staying, depending on what you're doing. Like if you're visiting other locations, I think costs can be kind of spiral once you're in the Disney parks. One of the things that I do like about the Disney Cruise Line is that I've now paid for my food, I've paid for the drinks that I'm going to enjoy. That element has sort of gone for me, and that worry has gone. So from my point of view, the cost is sort of good. Obviously, there's still shopping, both in locations, there's items, but I think the opportunity to explore and see different parts of the world for a cheaper price is probably a good selling point. So I think from my point of view, the Disney Cruise Line does offer a very different experience. Yes, I'm not going to get on many attractions. I'm not going to have thrill rides. I'm not going to be able to do that. Yes, I've pretty much got the same sort of shows. I'm going to see the same sort of like cinema. I'm going to see some films, and I can still experience that in the park. But I think with the Disney Cruise Line, I think it's having the food paid for, visiting different parts of the world, and also just exploring and just having a different type of holiday, a sort of Disney chilled out holiday. If you've visited the parks a few times, you can probably experience that, but if you haven't been for a while, then it probably isn't something you can experience. But it's all about your individual tastes. I know people who probably don't want to get stuck on a ship or be locked on a ship or maybe be too seasick, and therefore the Disney Cruise Line is definitely not something for them. But if it is something, let me know in the comments below. Message me on Instagram. I can try and help you try and book your holiday. That's the whole point of this. Let me know in the comments below what's your kind of approach to the parks. Would you prefer to do a cruise line, or would you do a parks? What do you sort of look for in your holidays? Thanks for watching. Support the channel however you can. Like, share, subscribe, or do whatever you can. And I will see you real soon.